everyone, this is Group 8 presenting on the topic of global reception of K-pop by fans, focusing specifically on BTS and their fan base ARMY. Our group members are myself, Nora, Chris, and Meiko. Here's our table of contents. K-pop has grown into a global phenomenon, and a major reason for its success can be attributed to its fandom culture. In this presentation, we will be exploring how the BTS ARMY operates across different countries and how that contributes to K-pop's global influence. Our research focuses on how K-pop is received by audiences worldwide, and thus we focus specifically on fan practices such as organized fan clubs, social events, and online communities. To garner a better and more authentic understanding of the worldwide ARMY, we decided to conduct a survey interview to observe results. We also used a qualitative research approach. We combined primary sources like surveying fans and secondary sources such as academic articles, the classroom content, and secondary sources. To put the research to a wider stance, each member chose a region or country, and we conducted a comparative analysis through case studies of South Korea, Iran, Hong Kong, and the US and Canada. Each region offers a different perspective on how fandom operates, which is what our research was most interested in. We chose this topic because fandom culture varies significantly across countries due to cultural, societal, and other differences. We wondered, how has BTS been able to connect with fans globally despite cultural and geographic boundaries? Our central argument is that we argue that K-pop fan culture breaks international barriers through digital, emotional, and social identification, leading to global unity and a cohesive fandom.
Moving to the background of BTS, BTS, as known as Bangtan debuted in 2013 and quickly gained international popularity and recognition. Their fanbase is called the ARMY, has blossomed into one of the most organized and influential fan communities in the world, largely through digital platforms like social media. According to the BTS fandom wiki, ARMY stands for Adorable Representative MC for Youth, started as a local fan base in Korea but expanded globally as BTS gained popularity. Over time, it developed into a structured and highly active community with both online and in-person engagement. Given that ARMY is associated with the military, body armor, and how those things are always together, the fandom name basically means that fans will always be together with BTS. In 2017, BTS and ARMY became almost a mirrored images of each other, and they have a relationship that is affected by each other. The symbol of ARMY is expressed as a door on their viewpoint who is waiting and welcoming BTS on the opposite door. The fan club was started by Big Hit Entertainment, now HYBE, in 2013 and continued until the latest recruitment in 2026.
Moving on to our research in depth. For each case study, we looked at how fandom culture bloomed through events and activities, merchandise consumption, fan interactions online, and our personal survey data. But what exactly do those things entail? For fandom activities, it means that fans participate in a wide range of activities such as concerts of the group, fan meetings, cup sleeve events, random dance plays, conventions and exhibitions, birthday celebrations, billboards, advertisements, and so on. For fan projects, ARMY also engages in organized projects like the Purple Ribbon Project, which is meant to promote respectful fan behavior across countries. This is a great example of the social impact fandom can have. Moving on to merchandise and economy, merchandise plays a major role in fandom culture. Consuming goods related to the group creates togetherness, excitement, and promotes the group's success. Fans purchasing official products is one thing, but there is also a huge resale market for albums, photo cards, and other merch, like concert tickets and trading. This sometimes leads to overconsumption. And lastly, digital fan culture. Through our research, we found that digital platforms are essential for ARMY and other fandoms. Fans connect through Twitter, Instagram, and apps like Amino and Weverse, sharing updates, participating in global events like ARMY Selka Day, and of course, the group's comebacks. This creates a strong sense of community across borders.
Thank you, Nora. I will talk about the survey section of our project. To better understand BTS fandom, we conducted a survey interview among acquaintances. We asked questions about where participants are from, their level of involvement in ARMY, their experience with BTS-related events and merchandise, their perception of the fandom and event availability in their regions. The purpose of this survey was to see not only how people support BTS, but also how fandom is experienced differently across countries. This graph shows where our participants are from. The responses came from several different countries, including Canada, France, Hong Kong, Iran, Nepal, Peru, South Korea, the United States, and Australia. This already suggests that BTS fandom is not limited to one country or one region. Instead, it exists on a global scale. What is especially noticeable here is that South Korea had the highest number of respondents, but the overall spread of countries still shows the international reach of BTS and ARMY. So even in a small survey, we can already see that BTS-related fan activity extends across multiple parts of the world. This slide shows how long the respondents have been ARMY. One of the most important results is that the largest group of respondents said that they have been fans for around 3 to 5 years. This is meaningful because BTS first ranked number one on the Billboard chart in 2020. So if we connect that moment to our survey timing, it seems reasonable that many people began actively supporting BTS during the period when the group became especially visible on the global stage. This suggests that BTS international growth after 2020 may have played an important role in expanding the fandom. This slide focuses on events and merchandise. An interesting result here is that all of the respondents had participated in at least one BTS-related event in their own country. This tells us that fandom is not just online, but exists through real offline experiences. At the same time, satisfaction was evenly divided. 50% said that they were satisfied and 50% said they were unsatisfied. This split may suggest that while fans are able to attend events, their experiences are not always equally positive. One possible reason is accessibility. BTS related events can be expensive, limited, or difficult to access depending on the region. So this slide shows both participation and the limitation at the same time. So this slide shows how respondents perceive ARMY itself. The responses were mixed. Some described ARMY as very devoted and united, which reflects the fandom's strong loyalty and organization. At the same time, others mentioned that some fans can be intense, problematic, or even toxic in certain situations. This is important because it shows that fandom is complex and ARMY is often praised for being highly organized and supported, but it can also be criticized when fan behavior becomes too extreme or competitive. So even among fans, perceptions of ARMY are not completely one-sided. The fandom is seen as both powerful and at times challenging. Finally, these slides look at event availability and attendance. The most common response was the BTS-related events are held around 2 to 3 times a year. However, when we look at an actual participation, most respondents said that they attended only one event. This suggests that fans do not necessarily participate in every available event. In other words, even if events exist, attendance is still limited. There may be several reasons for this, such as cost, distance, time, or limited opportunities. So rather than assuming that all fans join every event, this result shows that participation is often selective. Overall, the survey suggests that BTS fandom is clearly global and active, but it also shows limits in accessibility, difference in satisfaction, and mixed perceptions of fandom culture itself. Now we're going to dive into the case study section, beginning with South Korea. BTS has one of the most organized fandoms in South Korea. Even though the group is now globally famous, Korea still remains the foundation of BTS identity and activities. BTS first built their popularity in Korea through music shows, award ceremonies, fan meetings, concerts, and online content. Their success did not happen immediately. They had to work for a long time before they became widely recognized. This is important because it shows that BTS success came from steady effort, not simply from luck. As BTS became more successful in Korea, their influence also went beyond music itself. They helped increase global interest in Korean language, fashion, food, and tourism. In this sense, BTS represents South Korea not only as a music group, but also as a broader culture symbol. Korean Army does not simply support BTS from a distance, but fan actively organizing projects, share information, and participate in support activities together. Platforms such as Weverse made this connection even stronger. Through Weverse, fans can watch live broadcasts, assess content, interact with artists, and take part in fan communities more directly. This makes fandom participation feel more immediate and personal. During comeback periods, Korean Army often organized streaming guides, voting instructions, and support campaign online. Fans also create slogan events and birthday advertisements in public places such as subway stations. This fan-led projects show how organized and devoted the fandom is. However, the strong loyalty can also have negative sides. While some fans can become over defensive or hostile toward other fandoms, which may harm ARMY's reputation. So while Korean ARMY is a strong example of K-pop fandom, it also shows that fandom culture still needs to become more mutual and more mature.
Moving on to Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, the BTS ARMY fandom is very active compared to the other countries as they are closer to Korea and have more official activities available to them, like concerts, collaboration, and merch stores. With the amount of consumable contents, the fan club in Hong Kong was created in no time and has been active ever since, holding various events for the fans to enjoy. For instance, fan sleeps events, art gallery shows, and billboards. K-pop has always been popular in Hong Kong as one of the major award show MAMA is held in Hong Kong's Asia World Arena every year from 2012 to 2018 and in Kai Tak Stadium in 2025. Additionally, due to the geographical proximity between Korea and Hong Kong, K-pop culture such as merchandise, events, and concerts are more accessible to fans in Hong Kong, making it one of the major target markets for K-pop. Therefore, as BTS went viral and became a major success in Korea, their popularity quickly spread to Hong Kong. In particular, their appearance at the Hong Kong Mama in 2015, shortly after their rise in popularity began, further accelerated their growing popularity. This rapid rise contributed to the swift expansion of their Hong Kong fan base, leading BTS to hold more activities there and eventually resulting in the establishment of a Hong Kong fan club, which is now one of the most active within the global fan base. Additionally, one reason the Hong Kong fan base is considered particularly active is the accessibility of events. For example, in Hong Kong, events such as cup sleeves events, art exhibition, and billboard celebrations are very frequently organized, providing fans with opportunities to connect with one another and express their support for BTS. The dedication of the Hong Kong fan base extends beyond participation in the events. Given the frequency and availability of events, many fans and researchers has also produced essays, books, and other works reflecting their commitment and at times their intense devotion to BTS. In addition, the K-pop industry, particularly BTS, has made significant efforts to reach out to their Hong Kong fan base and sustain their popularity in the country. For example, merchandise shops such as the BT21 store were opened. And with Hong Kong hosting the first global BT21 store, there are constant collaborations of BTS or BT21 all around Hong Kong, like Kill, McDonald's, and more. Moreover, BTS World Tour have always include Hong Kong, and the official BTS exhibition Proof was exclusively available there. These efforts demonstrate BTS' strong engagement with their Hong Kong fan base, further strengthening the affection and loyalty of Hong Kong Army, deepening their dedication.
Moving on to Iran, the BTS Army exists there despite extreme limitations such as restricted access to social media and merchandise to listen and consume BTS content. Iran is quite far from South Korea and does not share many cultural connections, but some past diplomatic ties shown in having a Seoul street in Tehran and having a Tehran street in Seoul. Iranian armies operate in an environment where access to international media platforms is extremely limited, requiring fans to rely heavily on VPN to connect to social media. As a result, the digitization of fandom is integral to army functioning within Iran. Twitter and Instagram play a central role in connecting Iranian fans to global army networks and official BTS updates, as well as organizing fan events with WhatsApp. Research shows that online spaces function as decentralized fan clubs. Twitter or X accounts such as IRBTS1 and at BTS Fan Iran provide regular updates in Farsi and translate content for Iranian fans. At the same time, offline participation is significantly constrained, with events only being organized in Tehran by the fans. Unlike countries like South Korea or Hong Kong, BTS concerts, official fan meetings, and movie screenings do not occur, and official merchandise is absolutely unheard of. As discussed by Kana Zoya in 2021, after COVID-19, the shift to online spaces, especially for the army fandom, was an integral part of their sustained growth, particularly in Iran. Furthermore, accessing official merchandise is extremely limited due to economic sanctions and importation restrictions, as said by the US Treasury. Consequently, Iranian fans have limited options for collecting albums and merchandise. The scholar Ehsan Shahghasemi discusses in his scholarly paper in 2024 that there is thus a growing underground market of unofficial merchandise from China or the smuggling of albums from overseas with great difficulties. This creates a distinct economic structure within the fandom that differs from accessible and formalized consumer systems that are seen elsewhere. Shahghasemi furthermore discusses that despite numerous challenges and cultural censorship of K-pop in Iran, Iranian armies remain highly active and dedicated to BTS when they can. Scholarly studies on Iranian youth culture suggest that the appeal of K-pop lies not only in catchy tunes and dance moves, but its themes of self-love, self-expression, and emotional resilience. Iranian women in particular go through extreme control with mandatory hijab laws, so freedom of expression expressed in BTS's message is more than precious. The popularity of BTS has concerned the regime, resulting in the cultural minister to ask, where did we go wrong that we are changing Iran's musical tastes this way, according to Iran International. Fans have adapted by organizing small-scale, often private gatherings such as this one right here, and participating in global fan projects online. This video is from 2019, and these video sources demonstrate that fandom in Iran is shaped both by restriction and creativity to overcome. According to Agharezai, structural barriers limit physical participation, but the intensifying digital participation and emotional connection continues. Ultimately, Iranian armies represent how the global fan base is in transcending political, economic, and cultural boundaries.
Moving on to North American fandom. In North America, fandom is supported by large-scale concerts, events, and media exposure due to the incentive for HYBE to promote BTS, where fan diversity and population is largest. Fan communities are well organized and contribute to BTS mainstream popularity, AMS, Grammys, Koala. The enthusiasm of their fans in the region is also remarkable. BTS built its name through American award shows, talk shows, and interviews while also expanding its presence through Billboard chart success, and even receiving an invitation from President Biden to visit the White House, according to Jin Sung Kim. Their activities in the Americas have therefore been extensive. In particular, BTS surprise performance at a traffic light in central Los Angeles for car waiting at the signal was an especially memorable marketing strategy. One clear example of both their popularity and the passion of their fans is the size of their concert venues. Sophie Stadium in Los Angeles is a strong example of BTS ticket selling power and cultural influence in the United States. After first gaining recognition through television appearances and award shows, BTS strengthened its position through Billboard and Grammy achievements, and later expanded its fan power and influence through stadium concerts and major award wins. Their passionate American fans supported BTS not only through simple admiration, but also through organized efforts such as purchasing albums, requesting radio play, and promoting the group on Twitter. In fact, several academic studies have analyzed American Army activity as a form of fandom participation that relies heavily on digital platforms, showing that their efforts can be understood not merely as individual actions, but as collective action. Their influence also continued in offline spaces. Fan chants, slogan projects, and banner events attracted considerable public attention. One especially notable example of army activity was when American BTS fans raised about $1 million in just 25 hours, which was donated to Black Lives Matter related fundraising efforts. In this way, BTS fandom demonstrates not only strong fan support, but also various examples of creating positive social impact. In addition, cases such as BTS advertisements in New York Times Square and large ticket sales also show how impressive their offline fan activities have been.
Finally, we have our comparative analysis. Across these countries, we see differences in access, organization, and cultural expression. However, similarities including strong emotional connection, digital engagement, and community building. Our findings show that ARMY function as a global network. Digital platforms play a crucial role and local context shapes how fandom is expressed. ARMY can be anywhere, but at the end of the day, ARMY stands with BTS. The BTS fandom is truly global, transcending age, gender, and nationality, creating a shared identity among fans worldwide. ARMY demonstrates how fandom can build global unity, promote cultural exchange, and elevate artists to international success. Thank you for listening.